I've been trying to deal with the worst things alone, and I think I'm approaching the edge to the point where I can't distract myself with work or hobbies because work is part of the problem, and where my hobbies are outlets, I'm too exhausted to engage. Or when I do gather the energy, I'm so disconnected from my body and the task at hand, it's almost like I'm learning how to exist again after an accident. This is happening to me on the daily. I'm traumatized. This is familiar trauma because I recognize my issues as things I've experienced before, like I'm a middle-aged woman who's experiencing recursive emotions from my teenage years. Abandonment, struggle, being misunderstood and mistreated for that, resourced from but not poured into, the list could go on. I don't even know if I can get specific right now because I'm so used to shutting down. I'd rather be dancing while listening to extremely loud music right now. And although that's my heart's desire, I can imagine myself doing it. To put it into action seems dreadful right now. I don't think I can just drown out my feelings and let my emotions bleed through my souls. I want to fight for my pride, for my integrity, for my respect, for my freedom, for my individuality, for my community. Out loud seems so wrong because vulnerability has only felt like offering up myself for sacrifice for other humans to feast upon. That's how cannibalistic I perceive human behavior. I'm constantly having indigestion and migraines. I'm exhausted all the time. I rarely do anything outside of work all the time. That's the main thing that triggered me today, not getting paid like I was supposed to. This was one check I was really counting on because of my knee injury a few weeks ago. I couldn't clock into either job all week, so I didn't get paid at all last week. I ended up in a financial crisis. All the bills for that week couldn't get paid, and I planned on playing catch up where I could this week. However, my direct deposit didn't hit, and the first 2 days of the month have come and gone, and there aren't any major holidays, at least not any that I can find. I spent the day trying to think of what I could pawn that I can buy back if I needed to, or maybe some clothes to refurbish and trade in for cash at a consignment or resale shop. I have nothing that's currently quote unquote in trend, and what I have to pawn, I wouldn't be able to get back. And those are things that I need, at least right now in this political climate. I'm not willing to part with any of them. So not only is working 2 jobs not taking care of my very humble and poor lifestyle, I can't even seem to connect with my coworkers. I really don't trust them. I've seen them do and say some deliberately conniving things, and I don't want to be close to people like that. That excursion in the past left me with trust issues. It's pathetic to me how people subject themselves to another person's evil. I'm not willing to extend doubt as a form of like confidence in a person's character. The benefit of the doubt when I see them consistently doing shitty things. I know I've become a mark if I bring it up. Therefore, being a villain or just someone who's hard to get through to suffices for me. I'm so stressed about work. I can't get paid on time, even with working a 9 to 5, when that's supposed to be a perk for a regular job, getting paid on time. Then there's family. I don't even know how to get this off my chest. How do I communicate to them that I resent them? They've been reaching out because people are getting older. As well, they're already elderly. So now in old age, when they're faced with dealing with their mortality and illness, they want to reach out to make amends or to start over. I don't know for sure, but I know them well enough not to deal with them at all. At least that's what my experience with them has taught me. My mother has been trying to reach out to me, and I can't bring myself to participate. She and her cousin that was raised as her sister have been reaching out to me. I can only respond like with memes that they send me because that's all I have in me. A frivolous picture about nothing too deep. I can barely ever type out "I'm making it" or anything that's beyond the surface. Even with their change of heart, I just don't care anymore. I don't want to be close to someone I've learned is not a genuine person through to the bone marrow. That's how deep I feel it. Insincerity is a deal breaker for me. I also have to deal with not having a car. My God, this will be the 5th car I've had wrecked this year. None of them have been my fault, but it still increases my insurance premium, leaves me without a car for however long, and disrupts the morsel of a routine that I have. Either way, I have to go back to the useless jobs that I have. Neither of them have me able to pay my car note and to pay this car insurance. So I don't have to suffer through a freaking repossession for lack of payment for either of those. But I don't know. That's definitely going to happen. What I wish I was doing right now instead of complaining, I wish I was perfecting my burlesque acts. I have 3 that I'm working on now, and neither are perfect, but I don't have the brain capacity to do so because I'm hurting. I feel like a bum right now. I am a bum right now, but I could still be doing something creative. I'll go through spurts like a few days ago. I was so full of ideas for at least 2 acts, and I wrote out so much for those sets, both of which I'm updating. Since then, I haven't done anything else yet. I haven't moved to purchase any pieces for those acts. No money for one thing. My bills eat every bit of my coin I earn. I haven't developed any choreography to either of those routines either. So the ideas are just sitting on paper, and whatever fragments of a stage set and costume I have are all resting in my trunk. So I don't like my living situation either, including the circumstances that led me here. A major reason why I don't care to talk to my mom and why the teenager in me is back to resenting her and my middle age mindset. I don't like the person I'm forced to live with. Also, I hate things even more that my teenage children are obligated to be raised in such dysfunction. This is actually the first time in years I wrote in a journaling aspect. I've gone from trying to keep my head above water to treading so I don't drown to desperately fighting for the currents. For the past 4 or 5 years, I felt paralyzed. My emotions were building up, but I couldn't even pour them out of myself, and surely wasn't going to feed the famished beast of society who enjoy devouring any and every other person's pain. I feel like I'm a snake in a pit full of hawks waiting to strike. Whether I'm at work on the other end of the phone with my family, or I'm encountering a stranger whose energy and personality seems eerily familiar in a predatory way. Honestly, I feel like I just want to shed my skin and slither into a new life.